Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. Welcome to another episode of my previous video. Disclaimer: none of the events mentioned are true. Don't have any idol that is being harmed, and no idol have any negative role. If you guys don't comment and that's hurt me, please comment down and tell me in comment section. Now we start the video. I am sorry, little one. I'm not strong enough, but I promise I will hold on for you, for your brother. I will hold on. And it was Minjun, her firstborn, her sweet little boy that haunted her thoughts most. Every night she closed her eyes and saw his tiny face, his big curious eyes, the way his lips curled into a smile. And he called her Mama. She remembered the warmth of his arms around her neck, his laughter when she kissed his cheeks, the softness of his hair beneath her fingers. Now those memories were like knives, cutting deeper with each day. She was denied the chance to see him. She longed for him with an edge so sharp it left her breathless. Sometimes, as she walked through the streets on errands for Sua, she caught herself glancing toward the direction of Jungkook's neighborhood. Her feet yearned to walk there, to just stand outside the gates, hoping for a glimpse of her son. But the fear of Jungkook's reaction, of his cold eyes and harsh words, held her back. The humiliation of being cast out still burned in her chest. Worse, she feared that Minjun might forget her. That a little boy, too young to understand betrayal or life, might grow up believing she had abandoned him. That fear crushed her more than any of Soha's cruelties. One evening, as she whipped down the counter in the shop, her body already aching from the long day, Suha's voice cut across the room. "You look half dead," she said, her tongue dripping with disdain. "Don't collapse here. Customers don't like to drink in front of a crying woman." Minnie keeps her eyes down, whispering softly, "I'm just tired." "Then work faster," Suha snapped. "Pregnancy is not excuse for laziness. Women like you are made for suffering. Stop acting like you're special." The words stung, but Minnie clenched her jaw and remained silent. She had learned that defending herself only made things worse. That night she returned to her room and collapsed onto the floor before even reaching her bed. Her body trembled, her stomach cramping with sharp pains that made her cry out softly. She held her belly protectively, fear coursing through her. "No, no, please," she whispered desperately. "Stay strong, Dylan. Don't leave me too. You are all I have." Tears streamed down her cheeks as she curled on the floor, whispering prayers in darkness. Hours passed before the pain subsided, leaving her weak and shaken. She realized then how fragile her body had become, how dangerously close she was losing everything. In the days that followed, her health only worsened. Her once bright eyes dulled, her skin grew pale, and she often swayed on her feet as she worked. Customers noticed, making cruel jokes about how she might collapse and drop her child right there in the shop. Suha dismissed her struggles, accusing her of exaggerating for sympathy. "You are making this pregnancy to avoid work?" Suha sneered in the morning as Minnie struggled to lift a heavy crate. "Stop pretending. Women have carried children for centuries without making a fuss." Minnie bit her lip, tears pricking her eyes, but she lifted the crate anyway. Every moment felt like fire through her spine. But she carried it because she had no choice, because Suha would never allow her to rest. Her father remained silent through it all. Sometimes, when no one was watching, she caught him looking at her, with guilt in his eyes. But he never spoke up. He let Suha's cruelty go unchecked, and when he understood, his silence was his weakness. She no longer expected protection from him. It was in the quiet hours of the night that her despair was deepest. She would sit by the window, her hand on her belly, tears dripping silently as she whispered to her unborn child, "You will meet your brother one day. We promise," she sobbed. "Minjun, that's so sweet, so gentle. You will love him. I know you will. And I will bring you both together. I don't know how, but I will. I won't let you grow up apart from him." But the fear never left her that Minju might forget the warmth of her arms, that he might one day look at her with confusion instead of love. The thought shattered her more than anything, more than exhaustion, more than pain. Every passing day became a test of endurance. Her body weakened, her spirit cracked, but her love for her children, the one she missed desperately and the one she carried inside, kept her breathing, kept her standing, even when the world seemed determined to crush her entirely. And though she lived in shadows, her heart clung stubbornly to a faint glimmer of hope that someday, somehow, the truth would come to light, that Jungkook would see beyond the light, that Minjun would run back into her arms, that this child she carried would be born into a world where love triumphed over cruelty. Until then, when he endured the endless night of silent tears, the endless days of aching labor, and the cruel word that sought to break her spirit. Because though her body was frail, her love was unbreakable. The final months of Minhee pregnancy were a blur of exhaustion and silent tears. Her body had already been weakened by endless labor and the cruelty she endured under Suha's watch. Each step was heavy, her legs swollen, her breath short. Night brought little rest, her stomach cramped, her back ached, and sometimes she woke up. She woke up with terrific sharp pains that made her clutch her belly and pray for her unborn child's safety. But despite everything, she clung to hope. She whispered lullabies into the darkness, sang softly as she folded the tiny scarves of cloth she had safely swathed her child, and dreamed of the moment she would finally hold her baby in her arms. She told herself that when his baby arrives, perhaps her father's might heart soften, perhaps Suha might relent, and perhaps, though it felt impossible, Jungkook would learn the truth. The night her labor began, it was raining. Heavy thunder railed across the sky, shaking the frail walls of her room. When he doubled over the pain, clenching her stomach as a wave after wave of contraction stored through her. She screamed, her voice shook, but when Sukha appeared, her face was full of annoyance instead of calm. "Already? Hmm. You would better not cast trouble in the house. If you die, don't expect me to clean up after you." She spat before cleaning for her husband to fetch a midwife. Hot blood together in agony, sweat drenched Minhy's body, tears streamed down her face, and her voice grew hoarse from crying out. She bit down her lip so hard she tasted blood, praying, begging for strength. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, she heard the frail cry of a newborn, weak, trembling, but alive. "It's a girl," the midwife said softly, placing the tiny baby in Minhy's arm. Minhy's breath caught in her throat. Her daughter was so small, too small. Her skin was pale, her lips slightly bluish, and her cries faint, as though even breathing was too much for her fragile body. Still, when Minhy looked into the little face, her heart flooded with love so powerfully drawn out every pain. "Jisoo," she whispered, her tears flooding the baby's thin blanket. "My sweet Jisoo." But joy quickly gave way to fear. Jisoo's breathing was shallow, her body frail. The midwife frowned as she examined the child, concern etched in her features. "She's weak," she murmured. "This baby, she needs a doctor immediately." Minhy's earth clenched, but Sukha rolled her eyes. "Nonsense. She'll be fine. We can't waste money on doctor for a child that's already sickly." Minhy gathered what strength she had left and begged, her voice cracking. "Please, father, please, take her to hospital." She is all I have. She is your granddaughter. Please, please, save her. Save her. For once, her father didn't look away. Guilt flickered in his tired eyes, and with a sigh, he nodded. I will take her. At the hospital, the sterile smell of antiseptic filled with air. Minnie sat weakly on the bed, clutching Jisoo to her chest as the doctor examined the baby. Every second felt like an eternity, her heart hammering with fear. Finally, the doctor turned his expression grave. There is a problem, he said gently. Your daughter has a congenital heart disease, a serious one. Her heart isn't functioning the way it would. That's why she's weak, why her breathing is shallow. Without treatment, he hesitated, as though the words themselves were too heavy. She may not survive. The world spun. Minhy's arm tightened instinctively around Jisoo, her tears spilling free. No, no, please. She is so small. She hasn't even lived yet. Please, tell me there's something you can do. There's surgery, the doctor explained, but it is complex, costly, and risky. She will need constant medical care, regular checkups, and safe, clean environment to live in. Without it, her chances. He shook his head. I'm sorry. When he felt her world collapse, she had already lost so much her home, her dignity, her son, and now she faced the unbearable possibility of losing her newborn daughter too. She kissed Jisoo's forehead, her lips trembling. The baby stirred faintly, her tiny chest rising and falling with labored effort. I will do anything, Minnie whispered fiercely. I will beg, I will beg, I will crawl on my knees if I have to. Just please save her. She is my child. She deserves to live. But as she turned home with Jisoo cradled in her arms, the weight of reality crushed her further. Suha coughed when she heard the doctor's word. Figures, she said quietly. A weakened child, born to a weakened mother, and surgery? Medical expenses? Medical care? Do you think money grows on trees? Don't expect us to waste everything on a child who might not even live past a year when he birth avoid. But she swallowed her fury. She had no strength to fight Subha, not when her daughter's life was on the line. Instead, she retreated to her small room, holding me so tightly, whispering promises into the night. I will protect you. I will find a way, even if I have to break myself into pieces. I will keep you alive. Days turned into weeks, and tissue condition was a constant reminder of fragility. She cried softly, never, never, with strong, hurtful wails of the babies. Her little body often turned cold, her lips faintly bruised, sending Minhee into panic each time. She would wrap this so close to her chest, rocking her, humming lullabies through her tears until the baby calmed again. Her own weight body was still weak from childbirth, but she forced herself to rise early to work, to endure Suha's calling and the harassment of customers in the shop. She needed every coin she could save. She skipped meals so Jisoo could have milk. She wore the same torn clothes so she could buy blankets for her child. She beat hardly bloody whenever exhaustion threatened to knock her down. All the while she hatched for Minjun. She dreamed of introducing him to his sister, of seeing him smile and touch her tiny hand, but the gulf between her and Jungkook home felt impossible to cross. She couldn't risk bringing Jisoo there, but not while Jungkook hated her, not while Jiwoo's lies still poisoned his heart. And so she lived every day in quiet torment. One child in her arms, fragile and fighting for life, and other lost to her, growing up without her warmth. At night, when Jesus slept against her chest, when he whispered prayers in the dark, Please, please God, don't take her from me. Don't punish me anymore. Let me live. Even if I suffer, let her laugh. Let her run. Let her call me Mama just once. That's all I ask, please. Her tears sobbed in her baby blanket, her voice breaking as she begged the heaven. The words had taken everything from her already. They could not take Jisoo too. The doctor's word had settled into Minhee's heart like cold steel, refusing to melt no matter how much she prayed or cried. Jisoo's heart was weak, fragile, like a delicate glass ornament that she could shatter at any moment. The only hope was surgery abroad. But the waiting list was too long. 2 whole years, and the cost was beyond what Minhee could imagine. She had noticed silently when the doctor had explained everything, tuned up to even ask questions, her arms cradling the tiny body of her daughter, as if her warmth alone would shield her from fate. From that moment, her life had narrowed into a single purpose: keeping Jisoo alive, keeping Jisoo smiling, until the day had to finally come. Every morning began the same way. Minhee rose before dawn, her body aching from sleepless night, but her spirit refusing to collapse. She would check Jisoo's breathing. She pressed her lips against her daughter cleanly and whispered promise only the child could hear. Oma will never let go of you. You will grow stronger, my love. Then leaving Jisoo with her stepmother's reluctant supervision, Minnie hurried the alcohol shop her father owned. It was a place, the seat of bitterness and broken dreams, filled with drunken men whose eyes stripped her dignity. Every time she served them, she despised it, but she endured. The coins she earned there were a thread keeping her daughter's fragile future apart, from sapping apart. At the shop, she learned to work like a shadow. She kept her head lower, her voice soft, and her steps quick. Men often tried to pull her wrists when she poured their drinks, their slurred words dripping filth. Sometimes their hands brushed her waist, and sometimes their mocking laughter followed her when she hurried to the back. She wanted to scream, so the liquid in their faces, but she couldn't risk losing the job. For just so she swallowed her pride, locked her tears inside, and returned every night with her palms raw and her back aching. When her shift ended, she rushed home, the tiredness in her limbs vanishing as soon as she saw so little body curled in blankets. The baby was fragile, often coughing or gasping for breath, but her tiny finger would reach for Minhy's face with such trust that Minhy felt her own heart breaking. She would rock her daughter gently, humming lullabies through her exhaustion. Her tears often wet Jisoo's hair, but she smiled through them, not permitting her baby to see sorrow. She whispered dreams into the silence of the night, telling her daughter of a future where she could run in fields, laugh in the sun, and breathe without pain. The longing for Minjun burned inside her like an unquenchable fire. Every time she saw a little boy around his age running on the street, her chest tightening until she could barely breathe, she imagined him growing taller, learning to speak more clearly, calling out Amma while she wasn't there to answer. She missed the warmth of his little arm, the way he had once clung to her neck, but she couldn't see him. Jungkook had cut off completely, blinded by Jiwoo's lies, the thought that her son was growing up thinking his mother had abandoned him shattered Minhee again and again, but she never let the grief show in front of Jisoo. She kept her sorrow so hidden like a wound beneath her clothes, bleeding silently while smiling for her daughter. 2 years seemed like an eternity, yet Minhee counted every day like a soldier in a war. She saved every coin, skipping meals when she had to, stitching her torn clothes instead of buying new ones, and refusing any comfort for herself. Every bit of money went to a small box she hid beneath the floorboard. Sometimes at night she would open it, staring at a small pile of savings. It was never enough, never close to the amount needed for the surgery. Still, she whispered to herself, "Step by step, I will go there. For you too, I will go there." The weight of sacrifice left marks on her body. She grew thinner, her face hollowed by sleepless nights, her hands rough and scared. Her stepmother Suha sneered at her constantly, calling her a burden, mocking her for being thrown out by her husband. Yet Minhi never answered back. She accepted her insult, every slap of cruelty, because she couldn't afford to anger her father and lose the roof over her head. Her silence became her shield, her dignity buried, but her determination stronger than steel. Jisoo, despite her illness, grew with the beauty that softened the edges of Minhy's suffering. Her eyes were bright, wide pools of innocence that glimmered whenever Minnie sang to her. Her laughter, though rare, was a sound Minnie lived for. Each time for her little girl smiled, Minnie felt the courage to rise again, just a little longer. She told herself whenever despair threatened to drown her, I will endure everything for her. Sometimes when the nights were long and Jisu's breathing grew heavy with struggle, Minnie prayed to heavens. She prayed not for herself, not even for Jungkook's forgiveness anymore, but for the strength to keep Jisoo alive until the day of surgery. She begged the universe to lend her courage to let her daughter's life little heart beat just a little longer. She would press her hand over Jisoo's chest, feeling the uneven rhythm and vow to fight for every single breath her baby took. And so for the days bled into months, months into years, when he no longer counted the time by calendars, but by milestones of her daughter's fragile survival. The days she managed to eat without pain, the rare times she played with a toy, the moment she whispered Oma in her weak but sweet voice. Each moment was a victory. Remembered of I mean he kept fighting. Her world shrunk to a single truth: Jisoo needed her, and for Jisoo she would sacrifice everything: her health, her dignity, and rather she would sacrifice her dreams and even her broken heart. 2 years had passed like a slow, merciless punishment when his life had been reduced to a cycle of labor and sacrifice. Her own dreams buried beneath the weight of survival. Every coin she earned was tucked away for Jisoo's treatment, where the cruel reality mocked her. Her savings were barely a fraction of what was needed. The doctor's words haunted her every night. If her condition worsens before the scheduled surgery, we may not be able to hold her. That fear gone at Minhee like a relentless beast. She saw the Jisoo lips turn blue after the slightest exertion, saw her chest rising unevenly with her breath, saw her small body trembling whenever she coughed. Each time Minhee felt her own heart being ripped apart, no matter how many lullabies she sang, no matter how much she smiled for her daughter's sake, she couldn't escape the truth. So time was slipping through her fingers, and so for the first time in years, she thought of Jungkook not with anger, not with longing, but with desperate hope. He had sources she didn't, power she lacked, a voice in places she couldn't reach. If anyone could cut through the waiting list, afford the impossible costs, it would be Jungkook, and give Jisoo a real chance to live. The thought made her chest tighten with shame. How could she ask for help from the man who had abandoned her, from the husband who had believed another woman's lives instead of her, from the father who had turned his back on his own child? But Jisoo's frail head clenched her blouse and sleeve gave her the answer. This wasn't about pride. This was about the wounds between them. It was about life, about a mother refusing to let death steal her baby. Pride had no place when her daughter hers was failing. The decision wasn't easy. For days, wrestled with it at the alcohol shop while pouring drinks for strangers. Her mind wasn't on their laughter assault. It was on the question of how to face Jungkook after all these years. At night, when Jisoo's breathing grew ragged, she wept silently, torn between humiliation and hope. Would he even see her? Would he slam the door on her face? Would Jio still be there, foiling his mind against her? But there was no alternative. One evening, when he sat by the flickering oil lamp in their small room, Jisoo asleep beside her, she got out the box of savings, opened it, and stared at the meager pile of bills. Her fingers trembled as she closed it again, then picked up an old envelope. It edged yellow and began to write. The pen scratched against the paper, her words spilling out like blood from the wound she had kept hidden too long. Jungkook, I would come to you if I had any other choice. You don't owe me anything anymore. Not after what has passed between us. But you are Jiwoo's father and she's fighting for her life. She needs surgery abroad. I have stayed for 2 years, but it's not enough. Please, don't do it for me. Do it for her. She deserves to live. Her heart blurred the ink, but she kept writing. She didn't beg for forgiveness, didn't explain the years of loneliness, don't speak of Munjun to her soul, asked for him. This wasn't about their broken marriage. It was about a child's survival. She sealed the letter, clutching it to her chest, praying that he would read it, not tear it apart, not throw it away. The next morning, she made the journey to Jungkook Company building. It was a world apart from her own. The glass tower gleamed under the sun. The polished marble floors whispered of wealth and power. She stood outside for long minutes, clutching the envelope so tightly it crumpled at the edges. Her legs wanted to turn back. Her pride screamed at her to leave, but then she thought of Jesus struggling to breathe, and she forced her feet forward. The receptionist eyed her worn dress and tired face with thinly veiled disdain. "Do you have an appointment?" And he swallowed hard. "No, but please, I just need him to receive this letter. It's about his daughter. It's important." The woman's eyebrows arched. Skepticism flickered in her eyes, but something in Minhy's trembling voice must have carried weight. With a sigh, she agreed to pass it on. Minhy left the building with her heart pounding, unsure if she had just saved her daughter or wasted her last shred of dignity. Days passed with no reply. Every knock on the door made me his chest leap. Every step outside made her eyes search for a messenger. Nothing came. She began to think he had ignored her, that her letter had been tossed into a waste basket without a glance. The thought made her want to collapse, but she kept going for Jisoo, always for Jisoo. And then, one evening, a black car pulled up outside their small home. Minnie froze, her hands tightening on the bowl she had been washing. The door opened, and out stepped a figure she hadn't seen in 2 years, Jungkook. Time had changed him. He looked sharper, harder, his aura of authority thicker than before. But his eyes, those eyes when he had won lamps, loved, still carried that familiar charm. For a long moment they simply stared at each other, the silence heavy with years have spoken. Finally Jungkook broke it. "Where is she?" His voice was cold, clipped, but beneath it was something else, something he couldn't name yet. When his throat tightened, she wanted to yell at him, to ask why he had abandoned her, why he had chosen over his family. That wasn't about her. So she stepped aside silently, letting him enter. Inside, Jisoo stood at the sound of footsteps, her fragile body shifting beneath the thin blanket. When Jungkook fell on the side, his face changed, the hardness cracked, replaced by shock. He took a step closer, as if something beyond his control. She's mine? He whispered, his voice breaking for the first time. When his eyes filled with tears, she nodded. She is yours. Jungkook's knees almost buckled as he knelt, trembling as he reached, but stopped. Hope you guys like the video. Please like, subscribe, and share. That's it. Bye bye. Thank you so much for watching. Tada. Bye bye.